Hello everyone, Do It Right Tech come at you with another amazing technology video to help you get to know your tech better. So looking at this iPad Air third gen, you may be wondering, why do I have a third gen iPad on here? You're complaining about the iPad 4th gen and why you won't be buying it. Well, you may be thinking why I won't be buying it. Well, here's the thing. This is an iPad 3rd gen, alright? Looks meh. It's similar to the iPad 4th gen, but I could have an iPad Pro 11-inch. That's even more similar. In fact, it looks so similar, they could practically be the same model. And that's where it gets messy with the Apple lineup. Because we have the iPad Pro 11-inch, it's an 11-inch display, no bezels on the sides like this one does, no home button, so again, slightly better. Again, it's mediocre with these bezels, which is another reason why I am getting rid of this, and I'll discuss that later, so hold on your horses and listen. The iPad Pro 11-inch has, that nice liquid retina display, very small bezels, the bendable bezels, I guess you could call them. They don't have actual 90-degree angles, they have curves, as you can see in there. They have curves, like on an iPhone 10 and above, not the SE, but they have curves, so instead it, helps make the screen bigger. It gives it a more modern design. I like it. Many people do like it. Other than that, that's about it for the iPad Pro with the screen. It's an 11-inch. But here's where the thing. We have the iPad Air 4. It's a 10.9-inch. If you ever looked at the iPad Air 4 online and the iPad Pro, you may be able to distinguish just that slight not 0.1. Yes, it is 0.1. I'm retarded in math. You'll see that slight 0.1 of an inch difference. You may just be able to see the bezels are just a bit thicker on the iPad Air. Which is why I am saying, because if you're going to be getting an iPad for work or doing a lot of stuff on it and hoping to keep it for the next couple of years, 4 or 5 years, I would highly recommend going with the iPad Pro, and here's why. The iPad Air 4 comes in at $600 if you're getting the base model with the 64 gigabytes. If you are wanting to step it up, which a lot of people do with the storage, they do not have a 128, and that is where it catches you. In order to get the 256 with college discounts, the educational discounts if you're going for, which really anyone can, don't tell Apple that, but anyone can get that $50 off discount, I believe it is. Don't quote me on that, go look yourself. But if you weren't, that would round it up to $700. The iPad Pro right now on for sale in the education store, you can get it for $750. That is the 128 gigabyte, so it's half the storage, but really, I don't know who would use 256 gigabytes on an iPad. Even though Apple's all like, oh yeah, you can do all sorts of stuff. I mean, you can get your work done on the keyboard with the trackpad thingy, and you can be proactive on it. It's true, to an extent you can, but there's only so much you can do on a small screen. Now with a 12.9-inch, I can see 512, 256 would be more relatable. But with the 11-inch and the 10.9-inch iPad Air, 256 is just like, good grief. I don't use that much on my main MacBook Pro right now yet. So, yeah. So that's why I'm saying the 128 is the perfect spot. You get that 128 gigabyte for $750. That's $50 off the cost for one right now if you were to just buy one not from the education store. $50 off. You get the ProMotion technology. You get the better cameras, all right? So, better cameras. I've never really seen anyone being like, say cheese with your giant iPad. It's sort of just a cumbersome device to take pictures with, more shaking. I'd rather take a picture with an iPhone. But here's where the thing is. You get the A12Z and the A14 on the iPad Air 4. So A12Z on the iPad Pro, A14 on the iPad Air 4. So A12Z is where a lot of reviewers are getting confused with. They're thinking, oh, because the iPad Air 4 now has the special, they shrunk down the nanometers and made it more efficient, all right? It's still going to have that 6-core processor in it. It's not going to have an 8-core, which is what the A12Z has. The A14 only has a 6-core processor in it. And now the A12Z also has high-performance cores. They are the cores that get the work done out of those 8 cores that come in the CPU. Whereas on the A12, in this one, inside of here, and on the A14, it only has 2 high-performance cores. Don't quote me on that. I'd have to check, but I know on this one for sure, this has 2 high-performance cores, which are meant for, heavy tasks, and then 4 eco cores, whereas the iPad Pro has much more heavy-duty cores, the workhorse cores. I believe it's like 4 or 6 of those high-performance cores that can really crank out the workload. So I can 100% tell you, unlike all the other reviewers are saying that the A14 may be even better than the A12Z, no, that's where everyone has gotten a little bit wrong. Now, they are correct on single-core performance. That would be possible, and I think it's quite plausible as well. So it would make sense that, well, it would be faster in single core. It's a faster chip in general. But in multi-core, no, it has 2 less cores. It doesn't have those heavy-duty workhorse cores, those high-performance cores. It just has those eco cores, I guess you could call them, just those ones that you want to use for just, browsing the web or something. And again, it doesn't have that nice Pro motion technology, which, if it matters a lot to you, then I'd say just get the iPad Pro right now. For many people, they don't really care. If you're going for the 64GB iPad Air 4, go buy it. Go buy it right now. That's the best deal. Don't buy it right now because it's not out yet, but as soon as it's available, go buy it. If you're going for the 64GB, but expect yourself to only be using it for books, for documents, for web browsing, and maybe a few videos and movies that you want. You're not going to be using it mainly for video editing or even using it as your mobile laptop with all your storage files and photos and junk all on it that you want to shove inside there. Nope. 64 gigabytes will do you okay if you're a medium worker on your iPad. If you're a heavy worker, no. You want to get the 128 iPad Pro. And paying that $50 more, you get a better chip, you get better graphics. I can guarantee you 100% that the graphics in the iPad Pro A12Z processor is at least 40% better. I know it's like 80% or 70% better in this one because those graphics chips that they have in those iPad Pros are really, really set up for the heavy-duty stuff that you want to throw at it. But that's, again, just an opinion. If you're not going to be planning on doing it, get the iPad Air 4. I mean, you get all sorts of colors on this one. They only come with space gray and silver. Same with the iPad Pro. I don't really distinguish on colors. I know a lot of people do, but it's like, meh, space gray, silver. All right, that's fine. I like the space gray. It matches everything. Matches what I wear. Matches my Apple Watch. What else more can you ask? So that's the end for my rant. I just want to say, if you are looking for an iPad and in the market for an iPad, please assess what you're going to be using with it, and then go buy the iPad that you want. Whether it be for video editing, for anything more, go buy it. I can guarantee you that you'll be happy with the iPad Pro if you do go buy it. And another thing is, as the time goes along, they are going to release a new iPad Pro, and it's leaks that it's going to probably have mini LED, which is going to drive that price up. It's going to go from the $800 right now, the base 11-inch, much higher. So now is the time to buy an iPad Pro if you want the best bang for your buck. So that ends my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free. I always respond to my commenters. I always love to hear you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.